I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
When Marcos declared martial law in 1972, he threw Ninoy in jail along with a number of other people.
I hereby proclaim Ferdinand E. Marcos as the duly elected president.
While sporadic violence continues in Manila. At least one gunman climbed a TV antenna and began shooting at the government television station seized yesterday by the opposition. A number of people were shot. One isolated military battle that typifies the continuing power struggle in the Philippines. Rick Fredrickson, CBS News, Manila.
And in the last critical days, guns, people power, unarmed civilians placing their bodies between the Marcos troops and a handful of determined mutineers. To encourage
Marcial Bonifacio. The fusillade that brought Rizal down at the Luneta triggered the Philippine Revolution against Spain. The bullet that snuffed out Ninoy's life spawned the bloodless EDSA Revolution on February 22 to 25, 1986. Each man, dying almost a century apart, brought out the best in the Filipino. Each had the same attributes: a superbly gifted mind, a bottomless passion for liberty, but most of all, courage. Courage to look the enemy in the eye, courage to brave every battlefield, courage to die for one's convictions. But Ninoy realized his moment of truth had come. Since he was denied his passport by Imelda, he used another one with a striking appellation, Marcial Bonifacio. It was a play of names to denote martial law and Fort Bonifacio. Ninoy's return was a countdown that the Philippine government easily spotted and plotted with hour to hour precision.
At dawn on February 22nd, 1986, the Army Reform Movement began a coup against Marcos by seizing 2 Manila Army camps. Speaking over the Catholic radio station, Cardinal Sin called on the population to support the mutiny.
My dear people, this is a very critical time for our country. You spoke as a people in the last election, expressing your preference for peaceful change. I ask you now to be calm and to be prepared to express again your power as a people.
One of the dissident leaders was General Fidel Ramos, the Army Chief of Staff, a West Point graduate. The other, Juan Ponce Enrile, was Marcos's defense minister. Responding to Cardinal Sin's appeal, thousands poured into the streets to support the uprising.
We have committed this fatal act in order to bring to the world and to our Filipino people that the sad situation in the country is now coming to pass, and the day of reckoning is approaching.
Cory had crystallized the opposition to Marcos.
I called up Mr. Juan Ponce Enrile and said, let's stop this fooling around. This is stupid business. I said, I can blast you out of there anytime.
Marcos sent in tanks, but the demonstrators blocked their advance. Marcos hesitated. He feared that bloodshed would hurt his image in the United States. At a palace news conference, his top general argued with him.
I understand you gave them orders to wait.
I told them to wait because
they are massing civilians near our troops, and we cannot keep on withdrawing. They asked us to withdraw yesterday. When I talked to Mr. Enrile, he said you talk to you, we withdraw a little.
My order is to disperse
We cannot
the crowd
withdraw all the time, Mr. President. We
without
must.
shooting them. No, hold on. You disperse the crowd without shooting them.
There was no way for the crowds to know whether Marcos's forces would shoot, but they remained in the streets day and night. Marcos became more and more isolated as entire army units turned against him. It was clear to U.S. officials that Marcos was finished.
Following a meeting that took place in Washington with the president on Sunday, I received first an oral instruction and then one of my few written instructions to tell Marcos that we believed that the time had arrived for a transition and that we were prepared to assist in making that transition as peaceful as possible. Now, he exploded when I gave him that.
I, Corazon Cojuanco Aquino,
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
and conscientiously
fulfill my duties
as President of the Philippines,
preserve and defend its fundamental law, execute its just laws, do justice to every man, and consecrate myself to the service of the nation. So help me God.
Ang kabilin-bilinan ko kay Mrs. Corazon Aquino ay pagpatuloy ang Bataan nuclear plant kung maaari. Sapagkat I told her this is the solutions in meeting the country's energy demands and decreasing dependence on imported oil. Ngunit ayaw niyang tanggapin ang aking mungkahi at maalala daw ng taong bayan si Marcos habang andyan ang Bataan nuclear plant. Anong klaseng pag-iisip yan? Ayan ay paghihiganti, huwag natin idamay sambay ng Pilipino. Kanya't balang araw makikita ninyo, 20 years from now, baksak na ang Pilipinas.